Didn't you just tell me that you kind of broke up with an agent? Or
oh yeah,
I
broke up with no, I'm not with anybody.
Okay, so what was that like? What was your recent breakup with?
I mean, it was funny. I left my agent. I said,
that must have been a hard call though.
What do you mean, to really give it up?
Okay, so I've broken up with my agent and management team, but that was only when I was at like the height of my depression, drinking. I moved back to New York and kind of cut my hair off, and I was right before I met my husband, but I was like done with the industry. I had to be like really like in a real place to be like, guys, I'll call you when I think I'm out of this.
I mean, I'm not done because I get offers.
I mean, you're still immensely talented and you're still doing things.
Yeah. And I'm so grateful.
But you telling that person like, we're done here?
Yes, was surprising. He was like, what are you going to do? And I was like, I don't know. I'll figure it out. Luckily, I teach, and I tell my students this all the time. If you want to be a famous, like, get out of this. If you think this is going to make you happy, it can make you happy. It's made me very happy and help me afford
fulfillment
things.
And happiness, different things.
Oh, totally.
Like, it's like,
but my students, they think they're going to be so famous. They think they're going to... that's truly everybody wants to be famous, right? And it's so funny. No one's famous. No one's Leonardo DiCaprio or
like that kind of famous.
Denzel Washington,
not anymore. But even they aren't.
No, I know, and they're older. Like the Tom Cruises, that's no longer, right?
Yeah,
There's no
not really.
Everyone's famous because no one's famous, kind of a thing. But
I went to a Janet Jackson concert, and I remember Janet Jackson from growing up, and people just being like crying over like seeing her.
Right. That's Raven Simone.
Oh, is it? Yeah. But that's what I'm saying is like, I went to the concert. Nobody was crying. The seats were not filled. Like if it was sold out, it wasn't like people were like literally waiting for her to get on stage.
Right. It wasn't the
chanting
Taylor Swift
her
concert.
name. Like it really wasn't. And it was one of those things where I'm like, holy shit, even when she was dancing and singing and like she was killing it.
Of course.
And I had orchestra seats. I actually got them for the woman who helps me with my children. I really don't like to say nanny because I feel like it's just like and cringy. But
Nanny McPhee.
she's like my family, my wife, basically. She's my wife. But for real, like I was like, hey, do you want to go see Janet with me?
Oh,
it was like a Christmas present. And,
yeah.
And she cried, you know what I mean? Like she was a real fan.
Of course.
But it was sad to see that like even the folks that were older that could afford those orchestra seats, like they were vibing. But what my point is that it's never going to be like the Beatles. Human influence, human influence has died down.
Yeah.
It's like, it's really kind of weird to see. So this interview was partially so that we could talk about when you have been fired. So I was curious. You've mentioned a couple things, and I've been fired too. There was this one time when I was a kid that I set fire. Speaking of fired, I set fire to paper towels. It was summer stock. I was rehearsing.
I love summer stock.
I was rehearsing
at
for
the JCC.
Ruthless.
Ooh, okay.
I was rehearsing for Ruthless in Galveston, Texas, which is ironic that I live there.
Yeah.
And I had a pyro phase. I was about 12, 13. And for some reason.
What? Oh, so that's when you're into fire, addicted to fire.
I had a weird pyro phase.
How cute.
Yeah, and I got in trouble. I mean, I did. They were like, what the fuck? Is she okay? And we got past it, and they were very supportive. But I mean, I didn't get fired for that. But speaking of fire, like I did get fired from that show Girlfriends.
How cool that you even got a part on that, though.
I know, but
what a fabulous show.
But I tell this story. So they booked me.
Okay.
And then what's her name? Oh God, what am I? She's Diana Ross's daughter.
Tracy Ellis Ross.
Yeah. So she didn't like me. She didn't think I was a good fit to play. It was basically like Angelina Jolie's trainer that she ended up getting like a workout session with. And so I was, excited to come, and with sitcoms, you do your rehearsals.
Wait, who were you supposed to be?
Her trainer.
You were supposed to be Angelina's trainer. Angelina wasn't in the episode.
No, but it was like
Tracy wanted to go to Angelina's trainer, and that was you.
Yeah,
I see.
And so she was excited for that. The character was excited to see me.
For sure.
And so we had this like thing where she was talking about dating some guy. I'd never done sitcoms, really. I've not really done that.
Yeah, adult sitcoms.
Yeah. I did do like a Fox pilot right after Even Stevens that could have gone.
What was that called?
It was called Boarding School.
Okay.
BS. And it was pretty cool. It was pretty cool, but it didn't have legs. But yeah, so she basically, after our first like on stage, might have even been, I don't think we were in costume, but it was like We were getting ready to film that week.
Okay. So you'd already done some rehearsals. You'd already been there a few days.
And guess what?
What?
I had to go to Kim Possible right after that and go to LA Studios and go record for Kim Possible. I show up and she'd probably already fired me internally, like after that rehearsal, but she's there in the lobby of LA Studios. And she's like, oh, hi, what are you doing here? I'm like, I'm Kim Possible, and she's like, oh, I'm guesting on that. And I was like, you are? And I was like, that's crazy. And then I get to my car and I get my messages. And it turns out she fired me. Yeah, isn't that crazy?
That is crazy.
So she had fired me and I didn't even know it.
Oh,
but
my gosh,
she knew it.
Oh gosh, was that
and
awkward?
She was, it was awkward
for her. I know, I'm saying, was she being awkward?
She was being awkward, yeah.
Oh,
she was being awkward.
Yeah.
But the truth is that I guess Hollywood is kind of a small place. Like I haven't had too many of those like run-ins.
Me neither.
No.
And I don't expect to really in the future.
Well, people are so scattered now. It's not the same Hollywood.
Well, yeah, and like nobody even actually lives in Hollywood anymore, right? They're in Texas like you are, or everywhere.
Yeah.
You don't see. Yeah. But then at the same time, I'm in like Studio City, Sherman Oaks area, and there are so many famous people.
I saw Conan O'Brien at dinner last night.
Oh my gosh, wait, really?
Yes.
I love him.
I walked down the street.
He's got a great podcast.
To a really good restaurant called Jar. And
oh my God, I just passed Jar. Obviously, we pass Jar when we leave here.
Yes.
And that's a great restaurant.
I thought it was.
It's like high end, right?
I went there on a date like a long time ago.
Oh, I thought you were going to say last night. With Conan?
His hair is glorious. But
Conan, is it still glorious?
Yeah, it is.
And is he just a giant?
He wasn't as giant as I thought he would be, but maybe he was like kind of sitting down.
Okay.
But but he was having an industry dinner, it seemed like.
Okay.
But he was chill. He was really chill. The whole vibe is chill there. I love it.
Yeah.
And it reminded me that I went there for a date when I was dating this manager guy, which didn't happen often, but he was very cool. And I went on a date there and I was like, this is weird. Like I haven't been here since I was on the date, So now it's like sometimes when I come back to places in LA, it's like you get triggered by some things, but then when you've done enough work on yourself and it's almost like you're revisiting a whole nother life. It's fucking wild.
I know. I feel like I need to do. This is just making me think like I need to do more work on myself. Like I really do.
Yeah.
I mean, we all do and stuff. But like even when we're talking about stories, like it's so hard for me to remember a lot of things. And I think, did I block it out? Did I not do enough work on it? Okay. And also like there's a lot of shame. I'm like, do I want to tell that story? But I'm so worried about the judgment. But it's like if you're really past it, and if you really know you're a good person, and that you're on the other side, it doesn't matter, So it's like, I have some work to do around it,
What have you been doing? Like have you just been, that's what I'm curious about because everybody's like healing journey and we should get back to like where it started for you, like with that, that's part of what we wanted to address when we had our little interview or interviewing each other, I guess.
Yeah.
So the question would be, if you feel like you have work to be done, there's obviously no judgment in anyone's like journey. What do you feel like you've been doing since trying to like come into, like with your really great relationship with Jono and like your new perspective on what you want to do, even doing this podcast?
Totally. Not a lot, Christy, not a lot.
But you're a good person though.
Thank you.
I was a shit person until I made the decision to actually, no, I really was. Until I made the decision to like stop drinking and change my whole
I was a shit. I truly believe when you put poison in your mouth, like in your body, it's, I mean, sorry. I also want to say, I know we push mocktails and we're really proud of our,
well, I am.
No, we both are. And we're proud of our sobriety. But I also used to love drinking and believe that a lot of people have a great relationship with alcohol.
100%.
Jono, my boyfriend, drinks.
Drink all you want, man.
Drink your faces off, all right? Yeah. So in the words of Andy Cohen and Bravo, drink your face off, all right? If you want to play a game and we're drinking mocktails, but during the game you want to drink a drink, great. I of course, and I'm not the be all say all on that.
Yes.
But I want to be totally honest. I haven't done a lot of work, and I think I just was raised right. I have good people around me, and I'm not drinking.
Got it.
And I'm not scared about drinking.
You just eliminated that. You didn't have to.
No, I did. Like I had a sponsor then. Yeah. I did all the steps.
Okay.
And
wow. If you did all the steps, then like you've done a lot of fucking work.
Yes, and I've had
Therapists
therapists.
Girl,
and stuff
you've done
like
a lot of work.
I know, but there are people who do the steps over and over and over again. It's like you don't really do the steps right the first time. I've definitely done like apology letters. Oh my gosh, I've done apology letters for people I've been fired with.
You've done a lot of work.
I guess, but I think you have to keep it up. And
Well, it's like what we were talking about with mental health and stuff. Like it is an organ. It is like almost like a muscle where you have to keep working it out.
Right.
Yeah.
A lot of people say too, like a lot of people are scared when it's really good that you'll drink again, and things are really good. And that's happened to me. In the past, things have been really, really, really good. I book a job, I book Raven's home, and I drink again.
Okay.
Do you know what I'm saying? Like good things can happen.
Yeah. Also, everyone's got different triggers.
Yeah.
For me,
it's
it was
funny
like,
when my mom died, I thought I would drink again, but I didn't. I
Interesting.
think because I knew she'd be so mad at me, you know?